Hello and welcome to Estate Planning Weekly. I am your host, Don Rolfe. I'm the owner and founder of Northwest Legal Planning, an estate planning and estate administration law firm located in Portland, Oregon. And this week what we're going to be talking about is what is estate planning? What is estate planning? I'll tell you that probably the most common thing that people think estate planning is having a will, figuring out what's going to happen to your stuff when you're gone. And that is an essential component of estate planning. No doubt about it, 100%. That is definitely what most people will think of what estate planning is, and it is what estate planning is. However, there are so many more components that go together with it. I like to start from the base down, thinking of like a pyramid, and your ultimate resolution is what happens to your stuff when you're gone. Who are you taking care of? Who are you providing for? That's at the very pinnacle of the pyramid. But down here at the base, estate planning starts with taking an inventory of the things that you have and the people in your life that you're going to provide for are going to be your beneficiaries. I start all of my clients out with filling out a form that's called an inventory and assessment. And it goes through and asks, who you are, who your family members are, who are the other people that you're going to provide for, what types of charities, organizations do you want to provide for, who your decision makers are, who's going to be your personal representative, who's going to be your successor trustee, who's going to be your healthcare decision maker, who's going to take and care for and be the guardians for your minor children. What types of assets do you have? Do you know where all of your assets are at? Oftentimes people will discover, hey, I forgot about this 401k, or I forgot about this investment account I had, or this bank account, or just, getting all of your ducks in a row, taking an assessment of both the people and the things that make up who you are, with relation to your estate. The next step is to decide, how do I want this to operate and be effective for me? Is it something that I'm only looking for that top of the pyramid at the end of my life and make sure that my stuff gets put out to the people and organizations that I want to have it? Or is it more of like a holistic approach that throughout my life I want to make sure I put together a plan that we're going to call an estate plan that's going to take care of things when they go sideways? So, do we want to make sure that if you're unable to make your own healthcare decisions, that there's someone that you've named that can do that for you? You've given them the power and you've given them the instruction and the understanding of what you would want, and you know that they're going to be a good person to make that decision. So, absolutely, healthcare is a component of estate planning. It's a holistic approach. Also, what happens, you're getting someone to make medical decisions for you. So if you can't make your own medical decisions, how are you making financial decisions? How are you paying for stuff? You're basically incapacitated. And you can be incapacitated in a time where you have to have someone else making your medical decisions, or you can be incapacitated in a time where you are just not thinking right. Perhaps you have a midlife crisis and you kind of go a little crazy and you need someone to come in and help. Or you get a degenerative disease of some sort. You could be physically incapacitated, where because you are regulated to being in a hospital bed or in your own bed recuperating, and your mind may be working great, but because of this physical incapacity, you're unable to actually go out and do the things that need to be done as far as paying the bills, making sure stuff's getting done, and so that incapacity. Do you have a mechanism for making sure that your daily financial needs and other needs are met? We often try to tackle that through trust planning. We have a mechanism in place to determine your incapacity, and if you are incapacitated, name those people that are going to step in and give them directions as to what they need to do. Another component of the estate plan, obviously, is minimizing the stress and confusion and work that once you are gone, those individuals that are going to have to take care of all of your things, minimize their work, get it organized. We've got laying out specific instructions: who's to get what, how are things to be divided, if there's a fight, how are we going to determine the winner or mediate it, and laying it out in such a way that makes sense, whether that be through a will, and obviously that's a court supervised process through a probate, submitting the will and getting that all taken care of, or through a trust where we do a private administration. But there are decision makers, and then there are your clearly delineated guidelines for how everything is supposed to happen, how it's supposed to be administered, how your assets are gathered, how they're doled out, how your bills are paid, all of those sorts of things. It's an estate plan is really more than just that end of life document that's going to say, hey, my kids are going to split everything 50-50, you figure out how to do it. An estate plan can be that simple, but to get the most out of sitting down and putting it together, an estate plan can be something that helps you while you're well and capable, while you're incapacitated, while you're ill, and ultimately after you pass away. If you have any questions about what an estate plan is, or what kind of an estate plan will be right for you, please don't hesitate to contact me. You can go to nwlpplanning.com and click on the link, schedule a planning strategy session, and I'd be more than happy to get on the phone with you or meet with you in person to talk about your particular circumstances and what might be right for you. Until next time, I'll talk to you then.